and welcome back to Lit Laugh Lounge, where we lit laugh lounge, and we're still moving. Woo! Today we're going to do chapters 46 through 50, which make me incredibly angry. Woo! And I've always made me incredibly angry since I was 14 years old. They haunt me. They haunt me.
46. Specifically, these chapters just make you very
They
sad.
make me so mad.
What even happened?
I'm about to tell you. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Feyre wants a distraction with Rhys.
Oh my god!
And they're walking around to an inn somewhere. Lucien shows up, the king himself, and they have been hunting, air quotes, for her for 2 months. Lucien apologizes to her and wants her to come home, air quotes. He says Tamlin has not been himself. He's been going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And there's a creek behind her that she's slowly trying not to get into. And Lucien's trying to grab her to winnow her away, so he can keep winnowing her away until Rhys can't find her, basically. Rhys finally shows up, and Feyre calls out Lucien for how he let Tamlin treat her. She grows wings, and she has a couple really lovely millennial quip lines that she uses, which they're cool sometimes, but a bunch of them I kind of get overwhelmed. But it's like and I'll show you what the darkness made me.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
Like,
Haley,
one is fine, but multiple, I'm like, ugh.
Haley and I were listening to an Audible part of these chapters, and I had one AirPod and she had the other, and we were on separate floors. And at the same time, we were like, oh! No!
We also
Is that what was happening?
Yeah. Well, no, there was another one where we did the same thing, and it's in the next scene where she goes to the inn. So they go to the inn with Rhys, and they have rabbit stew, and they talk. They do some spice, and Feyre looks at him and goes, "They do some spice." And Feyre looks at him, and she goes, "I want a distraction. I want fun." And me and Alana both go, from separate floors.
See, I was really confused as to what was going on.
She just started yelling back and forth.
Yeah, I knew I had finished. I had finished already chapter 50, so I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, I thought it was because of the moving thing. So I was like, geez, what? And so eventually, I'm like, what? And then I'm like, wait, they might just be listening to the audio on AirPods.
We'll get to it later, but that sentence just makes me really mad.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't, but it does.
Especially because she just expects Rhys to know that she's joking.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll come back to the anger.
We'll come back to that.
The next day, they're flying through the sky, and Rhys has something he wants to tell Feyre, and he's so distracted that he doesn't notice that a bunch of people start shooting him with ash arrows, and he gets shot at a dozen times, and he plummets to the ground, and he uses the last of his strength to hurl Feyre away from him out of the range of the arrows. Because they're ash arrows, and now they will kill her, and they are tinted in poison.
Ruh-oh.
And so when she hits the ground, she's trying to find him through the bond. She's like, the tattoo. She's like, hey, Rhys, where you at? Where you at? And he's like, not answering. He's gone. He is fading from this world. And she's like, fuck. She's like, what can I do? I'm going to use my emotions, and I'm going to winnow. So she starts winnowing around. She starts Spider-Maning through the trees. She's going, whoa. Where is he? And then she uses her tracking skills because she's a huntress with the artist's soul. And she finds the tracks, and she sees his blood splattered, and she feels she sends him one way, but she knows he wouldn't go that way. And she's like, 2 groups, they took his clothes, so they knew I'd follow him. So then she goes one way, and she uses the bond, and she finds him, and she winnows in there, and she takes some ash arrows, and she makes new ash arrows, and she winnows in, and she stabs a bunch of people, and she kills them, and she's like, this is different than under the mountain. This is good. This feels good. Mm-hmm. And then she finds Rhys, and she's like, Rhys, hand, wake up. And he's like, And she's like, okay. And she winnows out of there, and she goes to a cave she saw earlier, and she's like, Rhys, are you okay? And he's like, Feyre. And then I think he passes out.
Yeah.
And then the next morning,
well, she also rips out the window.
No, that is at night. So that night, the arrows are still in his flesh and in his wings. So she strategistically breaks them and pulls them out. So no ash arrow splinters get into his wings, because as I was talking about last chapter, and no one seemed to, take my questions seriously about what would happen if a splinter of ash arrow got inside someone, she's worried about it because it would probably hurt. And I called it. Anyway, Anyway, my questions are important. She starts pulling out the arrows, and she's like, she's trying to distract him with a story. So she's telling about the summer that Elaine bought him all the paints and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, this is what I drew on the drawer. I drew fire for Nesta, flowers for Elaine, and I drew night for myself, but I never knew why.
He stops breathing.
He stops breathing. She's like, I never really went outside that much, like at night. So it's like, whatever. And then she's like, I think it might've been my like brain telling me to look for you. Like, I think it might've been my head being like, oh, this is like, I'm meant to be in Valeris. I'm meant to be with you guys. I'm meant to have you guys as a family. And he goes, I've been looking for you too. And he goes night. And the next morning, Reese is not doing too hot. Mm-mm. He's not hot and sexy. He has gotten pale because, his golden skin that Sarah mentions multiple times to all you people out there who think he's a pale little white man. Mm-mm. He got that golden skin. It's pale now, though, but that's because he's ill and dying.
Mm-hmm. We normally use context clues, and that is what Sarah gives us. So you kind of just gotta read into things a little bit. You can't just assume everyone's white. That's kind of racist.
It's kind of problematic of you.
Yeah. Call them out, guys.
Sorry. I didn't mean to get off guard. Anyway, so Reese is not doing too hot, and so Feyre's like, I got you. And she bundles him up in some layers, and she goes and she runs on outside, and she's like, I'm gonna go do what I do best. And she snags the cereal with a cloak. And the cereal's like, sup? And she's like, how do I save Reese? And the cereal's like, sup? You're just gonna give it some of your blood. The answer is in the Force, aka you. And once you drink the blood, he'll be fine. He'll come back to life. And she's like, oh, sick, delicious. And it's like, if you really want to help your mate, you'll use the flowers that grow at the edge of the creek. And she goes, oh, sick. And she lets the cereal go. And she goes, what?
Did you say?
You said, what? What? Stay with the High Lord? You meant that one? That's crazy. So then the cereals literally. Wait, pause. What? I just said it.
The stay with the High Lord thing?
Yeah.
Oh! Yeah, makes a lot more sense, actually. Sorry, continue.
Mm-hmm. Well, you called it, didn't you? So you should already know that.
No.
Because you should already know that.
Yeah.
Since you're so smart.
And didn't you say back when that line was, he goes, I wonder if it actually means Tamlin or someone else.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I forgot about that. My bad, guys. See, okay, I knew the main thing.
Obviously.
I figured the main thing, but I completely forgot that she had said stay with the High Lord and that might not actually mean.
Hello.
Anyway, so then she's like, the fuck? And the cereal's like, peace out. And the cereal leaves, and she clink and clocks back over to the cave, and she's like, bitch, eat this, and throws a fucking flower at him, fresh out the ground.
Kind of gnaws on it.
And she's like, I'm gonna ask you questions, but you can't
Can you
see.
imagine? He's kind of like,
No, literally.
That's literally what I see. In the blankets, and he's like,
you know that meme about that girl who's like, and then like the woman right there is like, you know that meme?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm imagining. He's just like,
I see the cat, the white cat that's like, yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
oh my god.
But he's not on that fucking flower. And she's like, I'm gonna ask you questions. You can't ask me questions back. You just have to answer them. And she's like, how long have you known that we're mates? And he's like, oh. And she's like, how long? And he's like, since under the mountain, since you died. Not before, but since you died. And then he's like, it snapped into place when he was on that balcony, and he went, stumble. And then she's like all pissed off. And she's like, you said no lies. You said you would be truthful with me. You said no more lies. And he's like, I'm sorry, I was a coward. And we're all like, I know, brother. And then she's like, send me home. We're going back to the camp. And he's like, dying still a little bit. And she's like, take me back. And so they went on back to the camp, and she's still angry.
Yeah, he also says in that part where he says that he's like, I didn't want to, I wanted you to have the choice. Yeah. Was the thing. I wanted you to choose to be with me, not because you thought I was your mate.
See, once again, I understand why she's mad, and then I also say you wouldn't have reacted well at all. In fact, if he was like, actually, BTW, we're
Yeah.
mates. You're going from cage to cage. Hello, you're gonna
She
be with
would
me
have
for
went
the rest of
fucking
your life.
feral on him. if
Can
he
you
had told her.
imagine if she thinks that the reason he saved her from Tamlin's palace
It's
because they were mates?
Yeah.
Girl, I love you. No, I love you, but
I love how we know Feyre, and we're like, girl, you would not have took that well if
yeah,
he told you.
you would have been so mad.
I think it's more like she wanted a little bit sooner, so like summer court.
Oh, yeah.
Era.
I feel like once they started kind of getting, less stabby.
Yeah.
they
And then
could've-
how do you explain that though? He sits her down. Definitely, absolutely, he wants
No.
her to know more. But can you imagine he just like sits her down and he's like, okay, so I know that like I haven't. So there's something you must know,
Mhm.
and it's just the fact that like when you died, clicked.
Yeah.
And so we're supposed to be together. But
I think-
like you have the choice.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I think that's probably what she wanted, was something like
She
that.
would not have reacted.
To
well.
be fair, though, they have been kind of prepping for a war, and I feel like since the summer court, they've been everywhere, and so it's kind of hard to hardly like find the right time.
No, yeah, but I'm sure like that's what she
Around the
wanted.
time,
She
yeah.
was like, because I think that's probably around the point where she was like, no more secrets
Mhm.
too.
Can you imagine? He told like I think that the next time of peace would have been after they got back from the Court of Nightmares.
Mhm.
Can you imagine him sitting her down after all of that he had to go through during the Court of Nightmares and go, BTW,
Mm-hmm.
You and me, or it's Starfall.
Oh,
Starfall would have worked out very well.
That 30 minutes she was waiting.
It
was right to the door. She would have been like, all right,
we have to talk. I have to give you a choice right now.
She's like, so glad you're here. And then he's like, wait.
Choices are
He's
involved.
like, pause. Before we do anything, I just need you to know. You look really good, by the way. I just need you to know.
We need to have a conversation.
He goes, I just need you to know. I just
Cauldron,
need you to
bless
know.
me. Give me a moment.
Oh my
So yeah, he had opportunities. Let's just say there were at least 2 opportunities where she waited for him.
that time where it was Cassian instead of
Yeah.
instead of he could have showed up instead.
After the Court of Nightmares, where she's sitting around too, like literally, she gave him plenty of moments. Good moments, probably not, but there were moments.
But there were moments, okay.
So she has a right to be a little angry. I would say, because he do be cowering. That was a little cowardly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go back though. Let's go back to Lucian.
Oh, right.
Bitch, I'm so mad. No, listen. I love that boy. I do. I care about him.
Sorry, my phone ran out of storage yet again because, I'm recording like 15 episodes. So, Lucian, what were we talking about?
I'm so motherfucking mad at this
Wrapped
motherfucker.
around Tamlin's finger.
But
Yeah.
listen. I was okay with him. I really was. I like him a lot. He's such a sweetheart. Until he was a coward and a doormat, which, okay, I get it. He's going through it. His bestie's Tamlin, which I would need therapy if I was Tamlin's bestie as well. But still, he's just, him say, what is it exactly that he said that he pissed me off? He said something along the lines of, he's like, I'm going to take you home.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Like, he was just like overreacting.
We all made mistakes.
We all made
Yeah.
mistakes. You motherfucker. What do you mean we? Who's we?
No, yeah. I think the important thing to remember with Lucian though is that the only person that ever stood up for him was Tamlin, even if he's not doing it now, because he took him in after his family disowned him. He helped him murder 2 of his siblings,
Yep.
and then he's a court emissary for Tamlin, who lets him do that. So
yeah.
it's like awful and terrible, and he should not be, as the guy who we were listening to was saying, a simp for Tamlin.
Mm-hmm.
He should not be doing that, but like it's understandable why.
Understandable. Him calling Reese, you filthy whore and prick, wanted to slap him. Actually.
And then when she like growled at him,
I was like, oh!
and I think what was it like? Did like Feyre, what did they do to you or something like that?
Yeah.
See, funny
What did they
enough,
make you or
I
something
was
weird?
actually doubting the fact that they were going to be mates. I was like, I really don't think they are going to be mates. If it does happen, it's not going to happen in this book. And then when she said, I lose to growl, I was like, oh, girl.
You spent
That-
too much time with this man.
I was like, that is like instinctual. So yeah, it was fine. It just, I mean, I'm always down to. I wanted a spring court reunion. I did want that.
Mhm.
And I was really glad that it wasn't Tamlin because I felt like that would have been traumatic.
And also, whenever she freaked the fuck out, whenever she walked into the cave and saw they were whipping Reese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, what?
went on a blind murder fury.
Yeah,
And then she gets wings.
she
gets
does.
wings.
Which I looked them up online just to see like what they look like, and then
I tell you, don't look up fan art, and you do it.
because no one.
You have to text
I
me.
didn't feel like texting. You also guys were packing, so I was like, you guys are probably not like paying attention to your phone. But I had stumbled upon like a Tumblr thread. They were like cultural appropriation with the wings, and I was like,
What?
pause.
The
I
birds?
was like, pause. So I went on on the Tumblr because I was like, what do you mean cultural appropriation for the wings?
birds.
And apparently it's because like they were saying like, oh, wings are a part of like Illyrian culture, and by taking them, she doesn't get any of like the negative side effects. And I was like,
When people are stupid.
I think I've entered a really weird part of the fandom because Illyrian wings aren't cultural; they are biological.
Mm-hmm.
So can't appropriate that.
Mm-mm.
But
Can you imagine if she like shifted her claws into like the Tamlin's like wolf paws, and they were like cultural appropriation of wolves?
Yeah.
I was like, it's like I really don't think that's how that works. I was like, I don't think that's how that works. You know, I feel like Tamlin would have a tail.
he does.
He does.
You know who also has a tail?
Carden, but like
Love Carden.
Yeah. Anyway.
he's tail. Tamlin?
When he shifts into an animal, yeah.
No, but like in general.
No.
No.
Exactly. I just feel like he'd have a tail in general.
No.
He walks around with one of those fake furry ones.
You know the ones that were going all the rage in 2012? The
Uh-uh.
wolf tails that were fake?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the people I bullied?
Alana, do you have something to say to the camera?
What? No.
Confession? We'll put the lamp on her.
I did bully.
It's okay.
Sorry.
You get penance because now I make fun of you for K-pop. So.
Yeah, it's fair. What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
So, like, he's sorry, more sorry than you realize. Write it a letter. Could have been a letter. You know how this could have been an email instead of a meeting?
Well, he doesn't know she can read.
Yeah.
She wrote a letter. No, I'm
He
not
doesn't know that she
I'm not
did
talking
that.
about Lucian. I'm talking about Tamlin.
Yeah, he doesn't know she can read.
Yeah.
Well, she wrote the letter.
He doesn't know that.
He didn't know she was learning.
It's a letter.
to be literate.
Still.
So
He doesn't know shit.
he thinks
All he
someone
knows
else
is that
forged
Reese,
that.
wrote a fucking letter, said, I'm chill, leave me the fuck alone. And he went, Feyre would never do that because she wasn't chill when she left here. And he goes, Lucian, go find her.
He said, the way he even said, I've been finding you, he says, I've been hunting
Hunting
you.
you.
I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I don't like
I
that.
don't even think it's hunting for you. I think it's just, I've been hunting you. And it's like,
Mhm.
Yeah, that was like the awful part because it was, oh, how did you find me? The hunting for me, yeah.
crazy.
We've been hunting for you for over 2 months.
That's nuts. Like she's an animal.
I was like, she's no one's animal or pet, please. Anyways, I didn't appreciate this. So let it be known, the millennial lines were millennial lines, but she kind of ate.
No, she ate. As I said,
I say she devoured.
she ate with some of them, but it's when she like stacks them. I'm like, girl, you're trying to get like a Tumblr post out of this, and I love you for it. I love you for it. We love the female badass characters. It slays. I giggle. I giggle a little bit.
You're dead, you and your entire cursed court.
Crazy.
Says Teresa, and I was like, well, fuck you.
You're killing her too.
I was like, she's part of this court. Anyways. He's touching her wing was so crazy.
I
I was like, bro admitted that it felt like it's a really sensual like feeling, and he was like, let me just touch your wing real quick, and she was like, oh, and I'm
girl.
like, am I walking into something here?
Yes, and then we walked into the fucking inn scene.
It's always so funny to me because they quite literally like are admitting their feelings to each other, but then they like just won't.
It's so annoying. It makes me so mad. Because they're like,
See, for me, it clicked truly that they were mates. Like the first time, I was like, "Oh, for sure." I mean, I'd suspected because, like, again, romance novel makes sense. But like, I was like, "Well, maybe they won't do it here. Like, maybe they'll wait a few books to do it. I don't know. The next book it would be because it's the last one, isn't it?" But then she did the I loosed a growl when like he like insulted him, and then there was also he nodded and his tunic and pants vanished, replaced by those familiar fighting fighting leathers, the wings, the sword, my warrior, not my anything. Pause. He is yours. Trust. Give it like a few chapters.
I thought of a throne of glass, and I didn't know.
I was
Anyway.
like, you kind of ate with that one. But he is yours, and you're his. It's cute.
Anyway, the inn scene. I hate that fucking scene. It makes me so mad. It makes me so uncomfortable. I'm like, girl. She goes. I want a distraction. I want fun. Die.
Actually,
Die?
Pull yourself.
Like go back into that fucking lake. Drown. Go back from whence you came.
That's a crazy thing to say to the man that you are actually in love with, because she is, and
she knows that like she likes him. She has the whole revelation when she's sitting there waiting for him, where she's like, I want to try it out. Even if it's just sex, even if it's more than friends, like I want to try it out. And she goes, so I want a distraction.
That's fun. And I'm like, girl. And I feel like I love how she notices that he like freezes and is like, didn't like that answer, and then continues on. And she's like, did he know it was a joke? No, he didn't. Especially because you just hurled like all of the insults in the world at him like a couple chapters before, after you had the Court of Nightmares.
Also, I giggled when there was like the bed, like there's one, and he goes, I asked for two, man. I asked for two. My bad. They did not give it to us. And
I love a 1-bedroom scene.
Most of them. I like most of those scenes, but I didn't enjoy this one.
I don't particularly like this one either, but there's one in Caraval. That one's good. That one's good as fuck, man.
See, this scene, it was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I was like, well,
I like the 1-bedroom scenes more when they cause tension, and less when they
are already
tension.
Yeah, when they're already established. It feels like it's not that it takes away from it, but it's just like the 1-bedroom scene is supposed to inspire this like really awkward, like, oh, we have to be like physically close together. So it inspires proximity. They have no problem being close to each other.
Yeah.
She's attached to his hip like 90% of the time.
So like, I didn't mind the scene. I do love the trope, but I was like, it just, ew.
Yep. I did like that she was very like aware of the fact that like if she had met Rhys first in the inner circle or whatever, that like if Rhys had tried to like imprison her to like the palace, which she wouldn't have, but if she had, Azriel and Cassian would have just like, they were like, fuck you!
And the hell you doing?
The hell you fucking doing? But take her out, take her somewhere to be safe, then come back and deal with Rhys.
And I like how that says something about like both like their character, but also like how comfortable they are in their homes and in their lives. Because like Lucien is forever like
indebted.
He's not indebted, but he's like loose. Like he doesn't feel safe anywhere. Like he doesn't have a place. Even though he's a court emissary at the Spring Court, he's from Autumn. Like he's not supposed to be there. Yeah. So it's like he's indebted, and then he's like he's not comfortable. Belong. He doesn't belong. But
he always has to be like on watch, on guard.
And then Cassian and Azriel, they have like they fought for where they are like too, but they have their place. They know that that's where they're supposed to be.
As much as they hate how Illyrians act, they're strong and proud of being Illyrian.
I actually think it's like really nice. Yeah. Just because like Lucien had to like fight for so long, and he's still disrespected. And then on the flip side, you have these two kids who these two guys that like were like really mistreated, and then they like fought tooth and nail to just be like exist, and then they were given all these high honors, and like they make sure to never like lose them. Like they don't put it in harm's way to like keep their honor,
and they don't lose themselves in the process.
Yeah. See, because I love characters that are immortal, but they don't lose their honor in the process of becoming immortal.
Yeah, and then the arrows. Oh, the arrows. That scene. That was what I got confused about the first time when you asked if you could read ahead. I like through like 40 something. Because remember they get shot at before they go to the Court of Nightmares. I thought it was this scene. So that's why I was like, no, don't read ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was like, I want us all to hit the same place at once.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And then I read it and I was like, wait, this happens twice? I did not remember that.
It does in fact happen twice. I don't know if maybe they're gonna come back later. I know that like it's a plot point, like it's an important plot point, but it also feels so random at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense. Like
people shooting him.
Yeah, like I know it's a plot point, and it's a valid plot point because they're like, oh, it's a hybrid people that they're following me or whatever. And I was like, yeah, plot point for sure. But it's also like, it comes out at the most random ass times. Like, and I know it's because it's such a convoluted plot. Like, there's so much going on at the same time, and also not a lot. Like, the romance takes up a good chunk of the subplot, and then so sometimes I genuinely forget that like there's war. There's not that there's a war because I remember that there was a war, but like that they're on the run. I forget that a lot. Like that, like someone's actively chasing them.
Yeah,
and then the arrows come out, and I'm like, oh.
We're getting shot.
I forgot. Sorry, my bad, guys.
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot that you guys weren't just at the Illyrian camp.
And I don't know if they come back. I cannot. This is after this point, everything is blurry. I have no idea what happens to the rest of this part. No, I have no idea. There's like one scene that I remember. It's like the last scene. So it's like I don't know what happens the rest of it. So I don't know if they come back. I don't know if it's a plot point. I don't know why they're doing it. I just know that they're there.
Well, I assume that they were trying to get Farah, but
yeah, but I don't know why.
It just pops up every so often that I'm like, oh, I forgot that you guys were.
And she uses a bow and arrow again, guys.
Yeah, I screamed that from my room. I was like, hey, she's got a bow and arrow.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what you were saying.
Because I was like, does Farah ever use a bow again? Because I couldn't remember because I think for the rest of this, like, she uses her powers mostly, if I'm correct. I don't really remember. But I was like, I don't remember another notable scene where she uses a bow and arrow because I forgot the scene existed. And then she's like, hey, she's got a bow! And I was like, thank God!
Oh my God, Farah Archeron is back.
And she used archering it on.
Yeah, oh, she used also the same wind thing that she used to protect herself from Tamlin.
8. Oh, and she winnows! She winnows when she goes to when she Spider-Man's the trees.
Yeah,
she winnows, and she's like, "There's ice everywhere." She's like, "I could have sworn I saw this," and I'm like, "You saw it, girl. You didn't sworn."
You know what? There was something about like snapping that I was. Hold on, continue.
The whipping.
No, I'm saying.
Snapping. Snap.
Oh, and then in the actual cave.
Yeah, and then they go to the cave, and I forgot exactly what it said because I was very busy packing. But it's like when why did they? What were they doing? Were they just whipping him?
Yeah, they were whipping him.
And then he was like strung up on the wall.
Yeah,
and there
the
was
chains from the King of Hybern.
Did they? What do we know? What the chains are? Are they the same chains from? Like, would they be the same chains
I don't
from?
think so.
Okay,
but I think they're similar ones that can block power.
I was like, well, are they lead or are they whatever metal it is from her other universes?
I don't know.
There was. Well, it was. I could find that set anywhere. I would find that set anywhere, and I was like, see, I don't know if we ever. I know that we didn't get a scene of the mate bond snapping into place for her. Like, if we did, she didn't recognize what it was. She just felt a snap. But like, he felt it. But like
looking back on it, I don't think she ever felt anything.
That was my thing. So I figured that it was this because she was like, she said at some point where she was like, I felt something like beyond. Oh, but something ancient and frozen and so vicious that it honed my focus into razor sharpness. I was like, oh, is that?
No.
It has to snap in at once.
It's just the power.
That's just her being mad.
Yeah, and her ancient power or whatever that's
Then,
in her.
like, she never felt any different?
No.
I
mean, not enough to recognize it because she just was in a hollow of despair.
I don't really see her being able to, like, recognize it, even if she was, because she is a human turned phase. She probably just was like.
But she fell in love with him, which I think is much better than it snapping into place and be like,
oh no, yeah, but I thought if there was like I wasn't sure if it snapped into place at the same time or if there was like it could also like be a lagging thing, and then once you realize you're like, oh wait, and then comes that realization.
I'm pretty sure like based off of what we've heard from past mates, it's the guys that it snaps into. It's like the males that snaps into it for them, and then women just kind of go with it.
Oh,
because there's a couple times like with Tamlin's mom and Reese's dad, whenever he sees Reese's mom, he just clicks. And then same thing with Tamlin's dad, when he saw the mom, just kind of clicked and was like, okay, we're mates. They didn't love each other, but they were mates.
That's crazy that she's never done it from a woman's point of view.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Maybe she has, and it's like a like a side character that I haven't paid attention
You
to.
know, it could honestly just be that we haven't gotten that. They're supposed to be rare. I know they probably aren't gonna be rare, just the way that this is gonna go. But like they're supposed to be rare, so maybe it's just like we've only heard 2 accounts
Mhm.
of mates.
Three. 4.
Well, I know.
No, like there's like in this book,
Reese and Tamlin.
it's not this. It's like a side character that comes in later.
Oh, later?
Yeah.
Okay. In this book?
I don't know. I don't know what happens, guys.
I was thinking of like what to think about, like making predictions, but I can only think of predictions of like the very last like bit. And I don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I can't tell you. Side character,
Oh,
irrelevant.
it's the 3rd book. They're literally just a
Oh.
side character.
Well,
But they basically tell the same account.
They do.
Oh, so like
From what I remember.
male.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I
He
kinda want a
recognized
female.
it. But I think they knew each other beforehand. I think they were friends growing up. And then he always loved her. And then one day it clicked.
I cannot remember.
That was my question. I was like, can you know them for a very long time and then it just
Yes.
okay, that was good.
Because like Reese knew Feyre before, and it didn't hit until she died and became remade.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know the logistics of that. How does that work?
I would assume it's like a maturity thing,
Mm-hmm.
a mental thing.
Like when the bond decides that it's ready.
Yeah.
Like the relationship is mature, or like
The person.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like the person is ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they like just stumble across them, like if you don't know them and it's like a passing stranger and you're like, oh, wow, crazy.
Mm-hmm.
The next part is winning in the cave, and then she winnows them to the cave in the Suriel. The Suriel's back, baby, Pedro Pascal. You see why I mean he would love this role? Can you imagine him being like, oh, and if you want to help him more, go to the river. If you want to help your mate more, go to the river.
I'm
He loves
imagining it.
spilling the tea.
I'm imagining it with like a Miami accent.
Miami, yeah.
So it's like, okay, so here's the plan. What you're going to do is you're going to go get that flower from that little like thing, and you're gonna make him gnaw on it. And don't worry, that's gonna fix your mate right up. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about. Trust me.
And that would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be lovely. Sarah, listen to us. Listen to what the girls want.
Yeah.
It's what
Yeah.
we want. We just want
It'd be
Pedro
amazing.
Pascal.
I am from Miami, so I can make that accent.
Trust.
This isn't like cultural appropriation. I am from Miami.
You mean like the wings?
Yeah.
Because you're appropriating the wings?
The Tumblr post was kind of. I low-key want to send it to you guys just to see what you guys will say.
I think I'd like throw your phone. Or my
I
phone.
low-key want to send it to you and just be like, look at this shit, and then
Because I can't get
That's
that.
so fucking ridiculous.
I cannot get that much into series because it makes
No.
me mad. I'm like, she wrote a funny little love story about a Batman and a random chick who shoots people. It's fine.
It was not meant
Leave it
to be,
alone.
like, a take on
A commentary on the ideas of using wings as culture.
yeah, I don't. There's some books that I'm like, I can tell that you're not. You can look too deeply into if you want, but that's just gonna be problematic for everybody.
Like, we're just having a fun time.
just leave it. It's just leave it.
Damn, it's 8:30. I want dinner. What happens after this? Oh, he's gnawing on the fucking plant when they're inside. When they're in the second cave, and he's
Her
like,
fine-
"Mom."
I'm so sorry. Her finding out that she's his mate. She goes, mate. Reese was my mate, and then she goes. Suddenly, she's like, "You're mine." And I know that's like her thinking of Reese's like line that you're mine, but I like to think that at that moment she was also like, "Oh, you're mine."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this is semi like
Snap.
a
Yeah.
little bit of it. It's more of the recognition
Recognition.
of it being there. But
Acknowledging bond.
Being like, "Oh, that's what this is."
she's like,
Crazy.
oh, that's why we can talk to each other through our heads.
That's nuts.
Mm.
It is also the tattoo.
Yeah, I assume it is. Tattoo formed the bridge.
Because the tattoo was there before he figured it out.
I
so.
imagine it can be both.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine.
Oh, I think it can be both.
Imagine.
Mm-hmm. It is both.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I imagine it made it like a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
To like, can you imagine the relief he must have felt when he was like, "Oh, thank God, I have an excuse."
Yeah,
Can you
right.
imagine the relief? He was like, "Thank fucking
Like,
God."
She's like, why can I see into your head? It's the bar. It's the
It's the
bargain. I
Yeah,
said.
I swear, guys. It's because you're a piece of me. Just let the
Can you like imagine? Because that's exactly what he was thinking. Was she was like, "I saw into your head," and he goes,
Oh.
It's because of the bond. You know, it's because like you have a piece of me into, so you can like see into my obviously.
Obviously.
No,
other
you know
reason.
nothing, human girl. Obviously,
There's no other reason. Because like that's it. You remember that scene in particular that I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where she was like, I just saw into your mind, and he like stiffens up for a second. He's like,
Wow, how'd you do that?
he's like, it's because you have a magical piece of me, and then you know that the second he was alone, he went, oh. He was like, thank fucking God, that could have gone really bad.
No, but did you guys catch the scene when she first met the inner circle and Amryn is like getting a sniff of her?
Yeah.
And Amryn goes, oh, and looks at him and and Reese is like,
Yeah. I was see, that was another thing where I was like, okay. Or then sometimes I think it was it Moore? There was another scene where like at some point I think it was Moore who said something along the lines who like was like Farrah said something, she looked at Reese and then Reese goes and then she's like anyway and then like they changed the topic real quick. Yeah.
Lovely.
So can Amryn just smell?
Amryn's like mega powerful. Yeah. She's like OP as fuck.
Amryn is like an animal.
Overpowered.
Can you
As
imagine if
fuck.
she was an enemy? Yeah, like and she was an enemy.
Literally, like they would be dead.
Can you imagine?
They
if
would
she
be
was an enemy?
dead.
She just goes like imagine if she's an enemy, but like not an enemy that like they should fear, but like an enemy that they like it's an annoying enemy to deal with. And then she goes, "Oh, you found your mate," and he goes, "Oh fuck, no." Can you imagine?
Yeah,
that
would
was
be
funny.
awful. And I just think it's like that cave scene where she's like talking and she's like, "You said no more lies," and he's like,
It's hold on, it's the
and then she makes him winnow back, and I've always felt bad about that. But I don't feel bad enough because I'm like, she has right to be angry. He had multiple chances to tell her this, and she had to hear it from someone else, which his fault. Al in the chat,
Although-
resand.
I do kind of like that. Like she did say, like she's like, "How long has he known?" And Surreal goes, "Well," and then she goes, "Actually, no.
Wait
don't
a
tell
minute,
him.
let me.
He deserves to tell me. I want
Yeah.
him to tell me." And I was
Yeah,
like,
at least she gave him like a chance.
yeah.
And
Well,
didn't just like let him die.
See, I was at, you don't know the relief I felt, because I was annoyed with her, but I was also so relieved because there were so many fantasy authors, modern fantasy authors, like the ones that have books coming out in the last 2 years that have read ACOTAR and then like come up with their own thing, where what they'll do is like when she discovers she got so mad, she leaves, she throws a tantrum.
No communication.
She goes, she doesn't want to talk to him, and he's like, "Wait, please,"
and won't let him.
and I was so scared that that's what was going to happen, and instead she was like, "Just take me to the Illyrian camp. Just take me there." Like, and I was like, "Oh, thank God." If in the next chapter she tries to run away, I will actually go into the book and drag her back by the scruff and take her back to Reese, drop her there and be like, "Talk your shit out, please."
Can you imagine her like dropping and like running off into the snow, like skittering? She's like, "Get it, go!"
Everything would totally be on my side. We would all be like,
Oh my god.
You're like, "Girl,
"Talk it out."
talk your shit.
Go
We're
ahead.
gonna go in the next room. We're not listening. We swear."
I would totally have my ear pressing.
Yeah, until weird noises started coming from there, I'd be like, But everyone, that's a really nice necklace you have on.
We should like step out for a second.
Yeah, show me it in like the daylight. Yeah,
Yes.
outside.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think is gonna happen?
I think she's gonna accept the mating bond. Really, I'm hoping that like we're getting towards the end. I think last like 19 chapters now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that we're gonna resolve the romance thing by like her just kind of accepting bond. What is it that they said? Like, was it here that they said something, or was that another series? I read another Fae book series where like when they were mates, they were kind of like insatiable for a bit, and it took a few weeks to wear off. Whatever, and I was like, well,
That's crazy.
well, if it does, then that'd be crazy. I have predictions, but they're more like end of book predictions, and I feel like that should like wait for the next episode.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll go back to reading. And I will get lunch because it's Cinco de Mayo. Love you.
Bye-bye,
Say
guys.
back. Mwah. Love you, Pookies.
Bye.
See,